Seed and Trigger banners are finally coming to an end, which means we're finally getting both Orphie and Evelyn banners in a couple of hours, depending on when you're watching this video. Okay, so as usual, I like to make these videos where I share my thoughts and opinions on the new agent, the rerun banner, so you can understand what value these units are going to provide for your account, because each account is different, each player is a different player. So here in this video, I like to not only share these things, but also show some numbers so you can understand exactly how much damage, extra damage, how much DPS they can provide for some of your teams, especially Orphie, which is a unit that is supposedly the last piece for aftershock units, right? But of course, if you are a waifu gamer, my recommendation is always waifu over meta. So if you like one of these agents, you don't feel that you need anything to clear the end game, then just pull whatever you like. Don't worry about meta. But if you want to get the best value out of your pulls, don't worry, I got you. And in this video, we'll be talking about Orphie, Evelyn, their signatures engines. But the good news is that if you're still not sure if you're pulling one of those units, you can just wait for the special program in 2.3, because 2.3 is going to introduce some interesting units and maybe a new meta as well, because we're going to get Lucia, Monato, and Yidari, all of them in the 2.3. Both Yidari and Monato are Rupture DPS units, Monato being an A rank, and Lucia is going to be a support agent, which, well, she's releasing alongside 2 Rupture agents. Pretty sure that she's going to be a Rupture support, right? But anyway, let's focus on talking about these new banners that is going to release in a couple of hours from now. Listen, we both know how important it is when it comes to saving money on these gacha games, and that's where LDShop comes in. LDShop.gg is a top-up platform that offers massive discounts and good prices for a lot of different games, including Zone Zero. All you need is your server and the UID, and you're good to go. You just select what you want to buy, fill up everything here, you press top up, and then you're going to get a confirmation detail page. Make sure everything here is correct, because of course you want to get your polychromes and your internet membership, right? You just wait a little bit and your polychromes are going to be delivered to your account that fast. Look at this. And you know there's double top-up bonuses that you get on the first time you buy one of those monochrome packs. LDShop got you covered because they can trigger the double top bonus for you. And the best part is that whenever you spend $80 in a single month, you get a coupon that allows you to get one of those monthly memberships for free, even in an internet membership, as you can see right here. Register your account using my link down the description and you get a 15 and a 5% coupon that allows you to save up to $50. So stop wasting time and start saving money using LDShop. Thanks LDShop for sponsoring this video. Okay, so first, let's start by talking about Orphie, and I'm not going to explain that much because I already released a guide for Orphie. So if you really want to understand exactly Orphie potential and the quick swap mechanic that I keep saying over and over, that people are probably going to sleep on this one a little bit and just play her as an off-field, then I highly recommend checking out my Orphie guide that I'm going to be linking in the top right corner. To give a quick overview of the agent, she's an attacker unit that can attack from outside of the field by using aftershock mechanics. And on top of all of this, she's also providing some attack buffs for all of your squad, and she's also providing some interesting aftershock buffs as well, which is why she pairs really nice with Soldier Emmy. But a lot of you are probably questioning yourself, is Orphie really worth it? Should I pull her? I already have Astra. How much damage is actually Orphie going to increase for my Soldier MB team? So here's the comparison between Astra, Soldier MB, and Trigger, and Orphie, Soldier MB, and Trigger. Okay, and as you can see here, Orphie is around 5% better than Astra. This is Astra without the signature. This is just using Cabal the Cannon. Okay, Orphie is using the signature. And you can see right here that Soldier MB damage actually drops quite a lot, because Orphie buffs are nowhere near close as Astra, because Astra has access to good support weapons, good support sets as well. But the thing is that Orphie herself is also providing a lot of damage. And not to mention the Soldier Emmy and Orphie, they are kind of providing support for each other. Soldier Emmy increases all crit damage from aftershock attacks, and Orphie is going to make your aftershock ignore 25% of the enemy defense. Overall, good synergy between them, and honestly speaking, even if it was the same damage potential 100-100 here, I would still say that Orphie is really valuable here, because once again, we're talking about a unit that is not going to be providing Astra levels of buffs, and the team is still performing really nice. So personally speaking, I feel that Orphie is an amazing pull if you already have Soldier MB or you're planning to get Soldier MB in a rerun. And not to mention that the devs already announced in the last special program that Soldier MB is going to get some buffs. If you like Soldier MB, you plan to get her, or you already own Soldier MB, I would say that Orphie is an amazing pull, top priority for you. yes, it's just Astra levels, and this is assuming like optimal gameplay, but you're freeing your Astra or even maybe your Trigger for another team, right? And Trigger, even if you don't have the signature, you can just use her in Rupture teams, for example. So, or you can just use Astra in another team, such as Evelyn teams, which is going to run right now. But just so you know, it's probably going to feel that it's not just 5% or something, but this is because of the Deadly Assault buff right now, because this one is really strong. If you take a look right here, it's a 30% increase for all aftershock damage, 30% crit damage increase for all aftershock as well, and not to mention that whenever attack agent hits the enemy via EX special or ultimate, they reduce the enemy damage resistance by 30% for 15 seconds. This is a really strong one, and since Orphie can trigger EX specials from outside of the field, this is pretty much going to be with 100% uptime. So it's a really strong buff, and chances are that you're going to feel that it's stronger, and that's because of the Deadly Assault buff that is going to increase both Orphie and Soldier MB damage by quite a lot. And I also mentioned on my guide that Orphie is a really flexible agent, and you can definitely get a lot of damage out of her. And so here I have some comparisons between units and how much damage they are going to provide for your Orphie. The most important one that I want you to take a look is about Trigger, because there's a huge difference between Trigger with the signature and without the signature. This is because Trigger is provided defense shred, which stacks with our Orphie additional ability and her signature engine, so you can get a huge damage increase once you stack all of these. Okay, but the thing is that if you don't have the signature, you're not getting that much damage, and by this point you might as well replace Trigger with Astra, which provides pretty good damage potential. Don't be fooled by this one right here. Okay, it might seem that Astra is providing 7% more damage than Trigger, but remember that Trigger is a stunner, so if Trigger at the end of the day is providing you with one extra stun window, the Trigger is actually going to provide you more damage compared to Astra. But I also want to point out those two teams right here. Okay, we're using Stunner with Astra and only Orphie as the DPS agent, and you can see right here that, well, we can play Orphie as a main DPS. You get a lot of value from using these units, but most importantly, instead of using Trigger, why not just straight up use a lighter? You can definitely play Orphie as the main source of damage, but I don't like playing her on the field that much, and not to mention that you definitely need to swap away from her every 5 seconds so she can use her aftershock attacks. So basically, if you have Soldier MB on your account, Orphie feels like a must pull. She's a really strong unit, adds a lot of potential for Soldier MB, and even frees your Astra to somewhere else or even your Trigger, depending on the options that you have available on your account. If you have Soldier MB, or if you plan to get Soldier MB in the future, you like the idea of playing around aftershocks, Orphie is amazing. If you want a fire DPS, then Orphie is kind of competing with Evelyn, and we'll be talking about Evelyn, okay? But the thing is that Orphie, I don't like playing her on the field. If you have the chance, once she's available, do the trial, see her moves yourself and see how she feels before deciding to pull her, because I personally don't like playing her on the field. And for those that are looking to get the weapon, I'm going to say that the weapon is really good for Orphie only. It's a weapon that provides energy regeneration, a little bit of crit rate, but everything else just works for Orphie, which is kind of sad when we have Heartstring Nocturne on the other side, because Heartstring Nocturne is an amazing weapon, okay? I'm not going to talk too much about Heartstring Nocturne, but basically, Orphie's signature is kind of a skip. If you have Heartstring Nocturne in your account, you can even use this on Orphie, as I showcased it on my Orphie guide. But basically, the signature is a good quality of life improvement, but it's definitely not a must for Orphie. And now, let's talk about Evelyn, since she's finally getting a rerun. And Evelyn is an amazing fire DPS. It's a really good one. I still have a lot of fun playing with her. And I'm even working on an updated quick guide for Evelyn as well, which should release this weekend. This time for real, okay? I'm not going to not release the guide like I did with Yanagi before. But basically, she's a fire attacking unit that wants to build up resources in order to spend all of them in the stun window. A mix of both sustain and burst DPS, because she has a pretty good moveset that you can use in the field. You can even dodge with your EX specials, for example, and all of these makes her feels really nice on the field. The thing is that chaining all these attacks can take some practice. So not everyone is going to get like 5 chain attacks on the single stun window, for example. And the thing is that all of these, they can definitely add some interesting damage potential, as you can see right here. The difference between 3 chain attacks and 5 chain attacks can go for like 23% extra damage. So imagine every single stun window, you're leaving this 23% extra damage out of the equation. So at the end of 3-4 stun windows, Imagine how much damage you're losing by not doing more chain attacks. So I think that this is really important for you to understand that if you want to get the best value out of Evelyn, you definitely need to put some practice and try to play around these chain attacks things. You don't even need to use a manual chain to achieve these 5 chains on the stun window. As I showcased this back then on Evelyn release, doing this with Coletta. The thing is that trying to achieve these with Coletta is so tight that Lighter just makes a huge comfort for you. Just for you to see how strong Lighter is here for this team. Here you can see the difference between Lighter and Coletta, and this is assuming 5 chains on all of these. The thing is that Lighter is increasing all of Evelyn damage, all of the basics that you do before in order to build up all the resources, all the EX specials you spend, the ultimate, and he even reduces the enemy fire resistance. Coletta is just increasing your chain attack damage. I'm not saying that you need Lighter to make use of Evelyn, okay? It's just that Lighter adds so much to any fire or ice DPS that if you don't have Lighter, you don't have Evelyn, but you want Evelyn, I highly recommend you to consider getting Lighter in the future. Not to mention that Lighter can also increase the damage potential of Orphie, as I showcased it on her calculations as well. So basically, you want a fire DPS, Evelyn is pretty good, but I highly recommend you to keep in mind that Lighter is an amazing option to increase the damage potential of your Evelyn. Not to mention that Astra is also kind of a must if you really want to maximize the damage potential, because Astra is going to provide even more chain attacks. So the best slot team, and I don't think this is going to change for a while, it's going to be Evelyn, Lighter, and Astra. And Heartstring Nocturne is an amazing engine. Honestly, I feel that even if you are a free-to-play player, this engine is like a must for any account. Just for you to have an idea, this is still the only limited attacker engine I have on my account, just of how good it is. I could show calculations for every single DPS. This is going to take a lot of time. So instead, follow up here a little bit, okay? It's an attacker engine that is going to provide you 24% crit rate, and is also going to provide you 50% crit damage. The rest of the engine is amazing for Evelyn. It's good on Orphie as well, as I mentioned, because whenever you use your chain attack or ultimate, you're going to make it ignore some of the enemy fire resistance, okay? Up to 25% at phase 1. So this is why Orphie can even make use of this, okay? This is not going to reduce the enemy fire resistance, but it's going to make all of your chain attacks and ultimates to ignore the enemy fire resistance. But even if you don't have access to all of this part right here, 24% crit rate, 50% crit damage is insanely good. Unless you're playing a character that already has a lot of crit rate on it, then you could also just go for Brimstone, amazing free-to-play option as well. Not gonna lie, I have a lot of attackers, and sometimes it's quite sad because I need to keep swapping between those 2 engines on my attackers. And let's be honest, Brimstone is not good on my Soldier MB. Brimstone is also not that good on Evelyn as well, especially because my Brimstone is just 1 star. So yeah, sometimes I feel that I should pull more engines for my attackers. Maybe more Heartstring Nocturnes actually, but I don't think it's a good idea, okay? But just for you to understand how good it is, it's a really good weapon, okay? For now, it's amazing both on Orphie and Evelyn, but if you have any attacker that does damage using critical hits, it's an amazing option, okay? Highly recommend getting this one, even if you are a free-to-play player, because of how flexible this engine is just by itself. You could use this on Anton, you could use this on Soldier MB as I'm using. Even if you don't make use of the rest of the engine itself, the crit value it provides is insanely good. So I think that this is everything that I have to talk about these units. So basically speaking, I would say that generally grab a Heartstring Nocturne if you don't have on your account. It's a really good engine. And about the agents, it's all about playstyle. Test these characters once they are available. Keep in mind that you need to try to optimize Evelyn rotation if you really want to get some good damage potential out of her. And also keep in mind that she kind of wants Lighter on the team. It's not like Orphie. Orphie has more flexibility when it comes to teams because you can play her on double DPS setups with Orphie and Soldier MB, as I showcased it before. Okay, so Orphie at the very least has a little bit more flexibility. Evelyn is kind of locked to Lighter. Yes, you could use Jifufu. Yes, you could use Coletta. They are not going to be providing same damage potential, okay? Not to mention Astra as well. Astra value is massive for Evelyn since most of the damage comes from chain attacks, and Astra provides extra chain attacks for you. So all of these things makes Evelyn not that flexible when it comes to the best and slot team, but she's still a really amazing DPS, and I still have a lot of fun playing with Evelyn. So these are the things that you need to take into account and in consideration. All of these units, they are just DPS units. All in all, if you're not struggling with the end game, none of them are a must pull. But hope this video could help you understand what these units are going to be providing for your account. And once again, don't feel pressure to spend your pulls at the very first day, okay? You can wait for the special program. Maybe you're actually going to enjoy some of these new upcoming characters that are going to release on the 2.3, Lucia, Manato, and the Idari. So you can just wait a little bit and see these units in action on the special program before spending your pulls on Orphie and Evelyn or any of the engines as well. And personally, I'm going for Orphie with the signature. Maybe a Mindscape one. I feel that I could actually trade the signature for Mindscape one because I have Heartstring Nocturne. But my Soldier Ambi is not going to have a good engine, so might as well get the signature engine for my Orphie, I guess. Okay, I know that I said the same thing about Seed, that I was going to get Seed, but well, I don't have a lot of pulls, and Rina decided to spook my 50-50, and now I have Mindscape for Rina. It is what it is, but sadly, I don't have enough pulls to get either Trigger or Seed, so Orphie it is. I have Soldier Ambi. I definitely want Orphie. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Have a good day, good night, whatever you are. See you next time. Bye bye.